we never stall. Two dudes in the dark, trashing it all. Cinema Showcase, rolling the reel. Brendan and Justin keeping it real. Blockbuster hits or total disgrace. Your front row now. It's Cinema Showcase.
All right, we're back. Welcome to the movies. Welcome to Cinema Showcase.
Welcome back.
You are in HD right now.
You're in full HD. This is definitely
HD.
definitely an upgrade.
Look, a lot of things in life you got to work out the kinks. You know what I mean?
That's all.
It's
It was
like,
our first episode.
dude, the first time a band gets in the garage, they don't sound like the Rolling Stones on stage. You know what I mean?
No, absolutely not.
So let's start. We're one episode in. Now, let's just do a close. Well, maybe for the first few episodes, we'll do this as like a little we'll critique what we maybe did right and wrong in the first episode. Okay,
That's okay. Nothing wrong with that.
and this is gonna get better as it goes. So it can't get worse.
Let me ask you a question before you start.
Go
On
ahead.
the very bottom of the screen while you're recording, does it say this meeting is being recorded?
No, it does not. So you won't see that. Yeah,
All right.
bonus.
Cool. Says it for me.
Yeah, so that just lets you know that I'm recording you, so it's not illegal. I think like Zoom meetings.
Gotcha.
All right. So, in retrospect, obviously we are men of action. We move fast. Thinking back, there was a tough first pick for us. Not because it's not a great movie, not because I didn't think we did a good job with it, but because like there really isn't that much to talk about outside of the movie because it's such like a standalone, autonomous, like South Korean random ass movie.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I thought we did a good job with it. That said, this will have a lot more context. We're gonna do a little different format. If we saw the same movie recently, that's new.
Yeah.
We'll do about 10 minutes on that.
Yep.
We won't completely spoil the movie. But we won't run through it crazy. We'll just give a little review, little thoughts, stuff like that. And I think like with anything on the internet now, like if you don't know what the basics of this movie are about, like then you kind of, I don't know. We're not gonna really spoil anything you wouldn't already know, right?
Yeah, and I feel like newer movies are kind of tough because you don't want to spoil. Obviously, you want to give people time to fucking go see the movie.
Sure.
And I'd say people our age that are going to be listening, at least like until we grow a bigger following, it's going to be tough for them to go out and see new movies. So they might just wait for it to come out to like VOD and then watch it from there.
Sure. So what I'll do is I'll put in the show notes that if you want to fast forward through the first little review thing, I'll give the timestamp on what it is. So, but in general, we're just going to give a little background, a little thoughts on it. We both saw Sinners in the last 2 weeks. We actually both saw 2 movies. Maybe we'll do the other one next week. We saw Warfare as well. So, we both had kind of similar thoughts, I think, on Sinners. So Sinners is obviously Ryan Coogler is the director, writer, who did Fruitvale Station, who did Black Panther, right? Michael B. Jordan stars playing twins, which can go very wrong, by the way. It can go.
And I actually have a question. Now, when you have to play 2 roles, do you get 2 checks? Do they pay you more?
That's a great question.
You're playing 2 roles.
Yeah, that's a great question. I don't know, but I'll tell you this. He pulled it off.
Well, he did a great job because they were very similar, but also like very different because I mean they're siblings and they're twins. You're gonna be similar, but there was just like a different range between the 2 characters that he played, and he did just a great job.
By the way, just a note. I mean, how big of a hotto move is it that we both have a guitar in the background of both the things?
I have 2 of them.
Unbelievable move.
I got 2 of them.
Unbelievable flex.
I got my Taylor acoustic on this side, and then my Strat, my Mexican Strat.
Yeah, there you go.
With Michael Myers fucking shredding on it.
I thought it was excellent. So, but in context, we don't get a lot of new ideas these days, right? So like what we're kind of inundated with in the movies, I've checked out on Marvel for the most part.
Yeah.
Um, I went through a phase with it just because my son was looking into it when he was like younger,
Yeah.
and now I'm kind of checked out. So like you don't get a lot of new IP, you know what I mean? You get a lot of, you get a lot of like, recycled stuff where you get a lot of like sequels or like the, sixth Fast and the Furious or whatever.
Yeah, I think they're on the 10th now.
Yeah, exactly. So the fact that it was a new idea, although it had a lot of old ideas in it, it's shot unbelievably. Let me just say that. I mean,
Yeah, well, the cinematography on the movie is just it's a beautifully shot.
yeah,
Beautifully shot.
right when the opening scene comes in, I'm not giving anything away, but like it's a, the probably one of the main characters of the film coming in, like obviously I think it's supposed to be like, is it like the 20s, like basically? I think it's supposed to be around then.
Yeah, because I mean he's not a slave, right?
No, no, but they're like,
But they're
so
still like they're cotton farmers.
yeah, so maybe it's like, yeah, so it's like I don't know if it's 20s or 30s. I'm not gonna do my history lesson here, but um, just the way it's shot, you could tell it's very well done.
Yeah.
And you just don't see a lot of movies come out like that anymore. That are like, first of all, originally written, original ideas that you haven't, even though we'll get into that, but like just the way it looks fucking awesome. The whole movie
Oh,
looks great.
tremendous. My very first thought, like, and it's funny because you said it, you see like it's just a sea of green. He pulls up in like a super old car. The car is beautiful. And it's just the I knew instantly and I said to myself, I was like, wow, this movie's about to look amazing. I don't know what's gonna happen. I think I only saw like a TV trailer for it. I didn't really do
Me
much
neither.
in-depth research. I knew a little bit just from like Reddit or whatever that it was going to be like. I mean, can we say what it
Yeah,
is?
yeah,
Or,
yeah, yeah. We could say
I
it's
mean, we knew it was going to be a vampire movie, but I'm dropping everything. We also didn't know like how it was going to play out.
yeah, yeah,
You know?
yeah, yeah. So basically, like the general idea is Michael B. Jordan and his twin brother are returning to where they're from, down south. They're out of Chicago. They're gangsters,
Yep.
and they're opening a juke joint. And their cousin's like a up and coming blues guy in the area, and they're gonna have a big party that night. Essentially, is what the idea is. And essentially, it devolves into, I'm not gonna so much. I'm not gonna go point for point on plot points, but eventually it ascends into a, like you said, and I think it's not original. I think a lot of people have said it, but like it's basically like Django meets Dust Till Dawn, right?
Oh yeah. If they had a baby, that's what this movie is.
Yeah, yeah. Very
100%.
well, very well done. I mean, it was kind of like for me, I haven't seen all of Ryan Coogler's films,
Yeah.
but it was definitely cemented him as like, oh, this guy's for real. This is like,
And it didn't feel like, I mean, I've really only known him from like obviously Black Panther. So this movie did not whatsoever feel like a superhero movie.
no, no. It just felt like something.
It was like a horror period piece.
Yes, exactly. And it it's funny too because what I didn't know about it was like essentially in some ways, like I had an argument with my kids on the way home about it. It's essentially in some ways it's almost like a hybrid musical. There's a lot of like musical scenes. There's
A
one
ton.
scene, I'm not gonna give it away, but in the, say getting into the third act, I think you'd say,
Yeah.
that is like
They're in the juke
unbelievable.
joint.
Yeah, they're in the juke joint, music's going, people are dancing. It's an almost unbroken shot. And I
The
guess
mu-
like I looked into it, and I guess Coogler was saying that they can only record on those IMAX cameras for like a minute and a half or something like that, is the amount of tape
Ooh.
they have on, or something like that. So it's like they have to have so many going, and so like I don't know, I probably have that a little bit wrong, but essentially like to pull it off, it was like like very very insane, like to get that
See,
done.
like if I was a director, like I'm not even doing that. It's like just shoot it on a red. I understand it looked beautiful, but there's still other cameras out there that
Yeah,
you could just shoot forever on,
yeah.
especially if you're trying to do a one take shot like that.
I'll
It's
tell you
like
this
don't
right now. We're not going to give away what happens in that shot, but essentially it's a music shot inside the juke joint.
yeah.
let's just say that thing could have gone fucking really bad. You could have tried to pull that off and been like, this is fucking awful. Like it could have been a walkout of the movie type of if they fucked it up.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I agree. And the music in general in this movie is great,
Yeah. And
phenomenal.
I think I read that the guy I'm not trying to give too much away, but there's we'll just say that there's like in that scene there's a lot of different types of music going on, and one of the guys who's in the scene actually did the score to the film.
Oh, okay.
And I'll tell
But
you
like,
offline.
so the concept of the scene and like music in general is like a theme that they keep saying throughout this movie. So I mean, it's they're like, oh, music opens up the spirit world, and I think there was text at the very beginning of the movie, something along
Yeah,
those lines. So I mean, it's nothing that we're spoiling because it's
yeah,
like the first fucking words on the screen.
yeah.
But so essentially, like, just use your imagination. It heads down that road.
Yeah, and if you do go see it, sit through the credits because there's more at the end, almost in
Yeah,
Marvel fashion. Um,
yeah.
there's more at the end. I thought it was great. I mean, look, it's not a perfect movie by any stretch of the imagination. It's definitely a rewatchable movie. You could definitely watch it a bunch of times.
I would say not only that, it's definitely a movie you should see in the theater. And a
Yes.
little fun fact, it was pulled out of IMAX because of Thunderbolts. And then everybody was like, no, put this back in. We want to see it in IMAX. And they put it back in IMAX. So if you get a chance, like, definitely go see this in the theater. It's 1,000% worth seeing it in the theater.
Yeah, I'm not an IMAX like hardo.
No, me
That
neither.
said, I saw, like I said last week, I saw what's it called? The
Oppenheimer.
Oppenheimer in the theater, and like in IMAX, it was fucking insane. Like it
Now,
was,
do you go to Jordan's IMAX or are you going to
yeah.
like AMC IMAX?
I go to Jordan's. Well, that
So
time I did. I don't go to IMAX. Like that
AMC,
was probably the only time I've been to IMAX in like 6 years or something like that.
like AMC IMAX is way different. It's not like a huge it's not like stadium style seating like a
Yeah, like it is
Jordan's would
there.
be in the no, it's not. I mean, it's still like uncomfortable chairs. Like those
Yeah,
chairs, it's like they're terrible.
they
It's
are.
like going to a Red Sox game. It's like just atrocious.
Yeah,
So I would suggest if you're gonna go see it, go to Dolby Digital. Go to any movie you see in the theater to Dolby Digital in at AMC. They have the reclining seats and like the surround sound is just incredible. Better visuals,
yeah,
worth it.
yeah. But I mean, like, I'm not going to give too much away about it. Like, it's excellent, it's excellent acting. The guy who plays the blues guitar player, that was his first role in any movie.
Incredible.
He's got an insane voice. He was excellent in it. I thought the casting was perfect, spot
I
on.
wonder, does he have music out? Because his voice is too good
Yeah,
for
I don't
not
know.
to make music.
I didn't deep dive that. I'm assuming he has to. Um,
Must.
it was just like it was so good. Yeah, I mean, like I said, like in a day and age when we said when like there's not a lot of good new ideas out there, it's nice to be like, all right, there is some new shit coming out that like is fucking worth
Well,
going to see.
it's just cheaper to use old IP. It
Yeah,
is
of
what it
course.
is.
And
They
it's
already
guaranteed.
own it. Yeah, exactly. Especially like now these like writers and directors, like look at Terrifier. Like that dude Damien Leone owns all the IP for Terrifier. It's like he's making all those independently. It's like, he got offered millions to, and he's like, no, I'll just raise the funds by myself. These people love this movie so much. So like I don't want to ruin the integrity of this movie, which you have to commend. So, it's tough. It's like if I wrote a movie right now, I don't want to just give it up. I don't care. It's like, yeah, you might offer me $2 million for the idea. Like that's great. But if I sell it or if I make it, I can make 50 million.
Yeah, and to the credit of like you were saying with now I've watched three Terrifiers, I think. Now, like
Did
I
you watch
said,
the third one?
no, I think I've watched one and two. I've watched one and two.
Okay.
Um, some of it gets a little too gory for me, but I can appreciate that, like what it is. You know what I mean? Like I like like the idea, the way it was done. Like it was. I think it's like a perfect B looking movie. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's very original. I get why people love it. Like it's like I mean, look, I'm not gonna love like everything that somebody brings out at like a really nice restaurant, but like I can say like, oh, I know that's good. I
You
understand
can
why people
appreciate
love
it.
it. Yeah, yeah, and I
Yeah,
mean,
I
I
mean,
liked it.
like I'm not gonna order fucking mussels, but I know they're delicious.
Yes, I know exactly what you're saying. So I would say I would give that a full recommend. You got to see it in the theater, like you said. Well worth your fucking $16 or whatever it costs you. Although AMC just put out, we should note that. Like I know you were saying last week that you get the three movies a week or whatever. They just did
Great
another thing. I
package.
think for like the low tier, where it's like Wednesdays,
Tuesdays, that's what I have.
Tuesdays are half off now, or Wednesdays too, or something like that. So it's like,
And not only that, they do half off like matinees, and then you can get half off that if it's on a Tuesday. You might
yeah,
be going to the movies for like $5.
yeah, yeah.
And
And
they offer free refills on popcorn and soda.
now, are you a sneak in your snacks guy? Are you are
Oh,
you
100%. It depends. Well, usually like I rock an icy or a cherry Coke.
Yep.
Those are my two. I usually like to do half Coke, half cherry icy,
Yep.
like the Coke icy. That's my move. And then it depends. I have went to the movies and I've brought in Taco Bell. I've brought in Chinese food. I've done it
That's
all.
fucking wild.
I've done it all. And AMC, I feel like they don't really give a shit. It's like fucking 16-year-olds. They don't care.
No,
They'll
they don't
never
care.
stop you.
Back in our day, like in the early days, like they were watching you, like you better not be bringing your own shit. Now it's
Yeah.
like, dude, they don't give. They're like, they're just happy that you're there. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
they used to have to pretend your girl's pregnant. She's got all the snacks in her fucking front pouch.
What I'll usually do, like if I go with my kids, I'll get the popcorn there and drink. But then I'm
Yep.
like, we're sneaking in the candy. I
We're
mean, like
stopping at the gas station.
1000% Ziploc bags. Like we're not fucking
Well, I
around.
mean, who wants to spend fucking $80 to go to the movies? Nobody.
That's what I'm saying. It's like
And you have three kids and your wife.
yeah,
That's a
yeah.
family of five to do anything is you have to take out a second mortgage.
Dude, it's like one thing if you're going with like one kid or like you go with just your wife, but it's like, and you're sharing a popcorn, but it's like three
Yeah.
kids, they all with their own. It's a whole thing. It's like, it's too much. So
Oh,
like,
there's no sharing.
no, no, they don't share. But I thought it was like I said, like, I think it's going back to Sinners for a second. Um, it's just like, man, I just wish more of these type of movies were coming out in the theaters. You know what I
So
mean?
what if you have to assign a snack to Sinners before we leave?
Yep.
What's your snack?
Um, So I would probably go if I had to pick I'm always going almost popcorn. It always is almost going to be always popcorn. But like I
Okay.
would say like I'd go regular M&Ms for Sinners. Like
M&M's. Okay,
now
regular
some people
M&Ms.
might think that's racist because M&Ms are chocolate, but I'm just saying like, this is
No,
not a
they're
race play.
colorful. They're colorful on the outside.
There you go. That's it. All
I was
colors
gonna
are
say
welcome.
I was gonna say Twizzlers.
I love Twizzlers, by the way. Underrated candy.
They're so good.
Underrated candy.
And
Yeah.
if you bite the ends off, like
Use the
put it in
straw.
the slushy, use it as a straw, and
Yeah.
then you get like crunchy Twizzlers.
Yeah. It's a
How do,
great move.
how do you beat that?
Yeah, and by the way, also real quick too, we should probably mention this. I mean, I'm a trailers guy.
Mm.
I want to see every trailer. And even
Oh
though like
yeah.
I went the day before and saw Warfare and a lot of the same trailers played, I don't care. I want to see those trailers again. Just as like I'll tell you what trailer looks fucking unbelievable is
Yep.
28 years later.
Oh, so good.
I mean, I have to see that the weekend it comes out. I have to
Oh
see it.
yeah. I feel like that should be a movie we go see together.
That was one of my first date movies with my wife was
Oh wow.
Summerville Theater 28
Oh, well,
days
see,
later.
I can't take that away. Now you're gonna want to take her.
No, she ain't want to see it. I mean that's a movie I feel like I'm gonna want to see twice in theaters. Like
Yes.
it looks
Oh yeah.
so good. It looks so fucking good. It's like right up my alley, dystopian
And I
zombies.
love what's his name? Aaron Taylor Joy.
Yeah.
Or Aaron Taylor Johnson. Great actor. Do you know he's married to like almost a 6-year-old?
Really?
His
That's weird.
his stepdaughter's like 3 years younger than him.
Jesus, that's weird.
She directed his like the first movie he was in.
I mean,
And like,
you gotta have a fetish. That's bottom line. Like,
oh yeah, I think they both do. There's been some controversy that she groomed him. I mean, that he was like 16.
That's fucked up.
Crazy.
I mean, listen, all for the expensive art, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I would say I give Sinners must see in the theaters.
Yep.
Um, it's
Definitely a must see. Are you going to do a number grade or just must see in the theater? Theater, wait till you get
what did
home.
we do?
See
Did
it.
we go? Did we go? We went 100. I was going out of 100, right?
We were going out of 100.
1,000. We should be going out of 1,000 actually on this podcast.
Thousand
1,000,
percent.
1,000%. I would give it. I'm 100. I would give it a. It's tough because if I was rating on today's standards, I'd say it's like almost fucking 99. If I'm just going off of like real movie standards of like what I think it is, I'd probably say it's a like a 90. That's what I would say. It's like an A minus.
Uh, I. It's tough. There's a couple continuity things in the movie that
We
kind of bothered
discussed this
me.
offline. Yeah.
Yep. And it's tough because I don't want to give anything away, but there's a couple continuity things that I didn't really like. There wasn't really, I'd say, plot holes. I would have liked more of an explanation of like where these fucking vampires came from.
See, some people. So all right. So here's the thing about movies like this. Some people are like, I don't need all that. Like, there's
Yeah.
people that talk about Terrifier, and now, like, the new one, there's more, like, backstory, right? And they're getting into more backstory, right? Some
Yep.
people don't like the backstory. I love backstory. Like, I'm
I do
like,
too.
give me the origin story. Like, I want that. You know what I
I
mean?
agree.
Like, give me the Art the Clown, like, full origin. Like, that's what I want, you know?
Yep. Which I
So,
think that's what they're heading to. So,
yeah. Oh, I'm sure they're gonna, like, making fucking jillions of dollars off this thing.
yeah.
Um, I don't know. I know that, like, I think in the third week, I think I heard it made 30 million, which is fucking huge money for nowadays. I mean, the theater was packed when I was in it.
Stupid
Um,
money.
yeah, so I think it was, like I said, I think it's an A minus, and because I do think it's extremely like I think it's one of those movies that if it was on HBO Max tonight, like I'd pop into it and be like,
I'd
all
throw it
right,
on.
I,
I
I
would throw it on.
I'd be like, all right, it's halfway through, like this is good. Because I will say this: if you were gonna rewatch it, the first hour you don't know it's a vampire movie. Like you can
Yeah.
watch the first 45 minutes or hour, I think we said, you wouldn't know it's a vampire movie. Um, I would say that like once it starts really kicking in steam, like once the shit starts going down, it's pretty fucking like
Well,
dude,
it's like
that go ahead.
you could. Okay, this is why I was going to go 87 because you're watching this movie for an hour and it could be a completely different movie.
Yep.
Anything could show up to the juke spot. It could have been the KKK
Yeah,
because
yep.
it was those times, and it's like anything could have showed up there, and it just happened to be vampires. The movie just it was like we said earlier, it was such a cross between From Dusk Till Dawn and what was the other movie?
Django.
And Django. That's why I can't put it in the 90s, even though it's visually striking and we want to hop on it being original. It's not. It is, but it isn't. It's original to the movies that have been coming out now, but it's not original.
Yes. I agree with you. Yeah, I agree with
That's
that.
that's why I can't touch a 90. I'm going to give it high 80s.
Yep. I agree. No, I think we're right there. I mean, I think 87, 90, it's like, I mean, we're kind of splitting hairs, but
You're splitting hairs.
but it's excellent. I would say see in the theaters. Definitely recommend.
It's
High
worth
recommend.
absolutely worth a watch.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I'll see anything.
I'm a snob.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah, yeah. We're gonna get into that right now. So this movie this week. All right, so you picked this movie. Now I'm gonna give you this. So you picked it. Now I had seen this movie twice already before you mentioned it. I saw it in the theaters, and then
Mhm.
I had the DVD. I owned it.
Yep.
I don't own DVDs anymore. I long ago I gave them up. Right. So the movie is Dogma. Right. Kevin Smith
Dogma.
joint.
Mhm.
So
Which is funny. Before you just one little quick little tidbit, you said you saw Clerks in the movie theater, right?
yeah.
Clerks came out in 1994. And I don't know if you stayed throughout the whole credits. You were young, so I'm going to say probably
Probably
not.
not.
But the last thing to come up on the credits in 1994, now this movie came out in 1999. So 1994, last stitch of credits says Jay and Silent Bob will return in Dogma.
Okay. Yeah. So he had originally written this before he wrote Clerks, but like had no because if you've seen Clerks, So obviously Clerks is shot on film, but it's like literally I think they shot for 30 grand or something like
Yeah,
that.
and it's all in black and white.
It's all in black and white. It takes place all in a in a like a convenience store or outside of
Yep.
it.
Yep.
It is and he was like, I can't pull this off, what I have in mind for Dogma, right?
Yeah.
Now, you tell me this movie. I'm like, good idea. I haven't seen it in a while. I want to revisit. Hadn't really thought about it in a long time. So I go to pop it on. You can't stream this movie anywhere. So here's where we are in week 2 of this movie review thing. We got one movie that's a South Korean film, all in subtitles, that came out in 2003.
Wait, you
We got
can't stream this anywhere?
you can't get it on streaming right now. You can't get it for the last 2 years. When
Well,
he's re-releasing it,
I have
the DVD.
I have, well, not even the DVD, Blu-ray. You see, it's under Michael Myers. I have it.
Okay.
So I have a little factoid about why you cannot buy this movie, but I didn't know you couldn't stream it.
So you can't stream it, and that's why Kevin Smith just got the rights back, and that's
Yes.
why he's re-releasing it in the next whatever month or 2 months.
Yeah.
It's the 25th anniversary, and you're going to be able to stream it again. But right now, you can't watch the movie we're going to review, which is fucking. It's perfect for this podcast. I have to say that.
It's honestly incredible. And I'm like, my thought process was like, because I follow Kevin Smith and he's doing theater tours where he's watching the movie with the theater and he's doing Q&As for 25th anniversary. Now, I own this movie. This movie cost me, I bought it on eBay. It cost me like $100. Right now, if you look it up, it's like $117. It's a collector's item. Like I have it wrapped up.
Yeah.
So it was owned by Miramax and Sony.
This is what happened. Yeah, it got sold to Miramax, and then the Harvey Weinstein thing happened, and then it was all in like this limbo of like what to do with it. It was Disney had it, sold it, then it was in limbo. So essentially, it's been one of those movies that you just can't get anymore, right? So it's like
which is why it's been so valuable.
Why this podcast is gonna be valuable because you have to listen to it to know the movie.
But I feel like people have seen this movie. It's not as obscure as fucking the first movie we watched as Old Boy.
Yes, it's not as obscure as Old Boy. I agree with that. It was a mainstream movie. It was like, all right, so let's just go back a little bit here. So I see Clerks, right? I love Clerks.
Great movie.
I
love Kevin Smith. Anything he does, I love it.
See, this is where we're gonna go back and forth here. This is good. This is gonna be
all right. I'm here for it.
This is gonna be it. So then I saw Mallrats, which was his follow-up to Clerks. I love Mallrats.
Yeah, saw it in the theater as well.
Did too. Introduction of Jason Lee, I believe, his first movie. Was a skateboarder.
Who is Stan Lee's son.
Is that true?
Yeah. Creator of Marvel.
That. Look at you learn something on fucking this podcast every week.
Did you not notice Stan Lee in Mallrats?
I did. I noticed that, but I just never put it together.
Yeah, it's the son.
That's crazy. So he's probably fucking loaded to the gills anyways. He doesn't need to be doing movies.
Yeah, no, he doesn't need to do nothing.
Yeah, exactly. So Dogma essentially is a take on Catholicism, right? You would say.
Yeah.
And it's got a fucking star-studded cast, right?
Oh, do you want me to name some of the cast?
Go for it. Yep.
So let's start off. It was written and directed by Kevin Smith. Came out November 12th, 1999 with a budget of $10 million and grossed $44 million worldwide. It is 130 minutes and rated R. Main cast. Now, coming straight off of Good Will Hunting.
Yep.
Like the very next movie that they do, Ben Affleck, Matt Damon, Linda Fiorentino, who plays the girl in Men in Black, that is the morgue lady. Selma Hayek. Her first movie was From Dusk Till Dawn. I think this might have been either a second or third movie. Jason Lee, Jay Muse, who plays Jay, Kevin Smith, obviously, who plays Silent Bob, Alanis Morissette, George Carlin, Chris Rock, star-studded.
Rickman too.
Yep.
Like, I mean, I found something out about how they got him today, but like, I mean, it is a wild cast. I mean, like,
Unbelievable.
for a $10 million budget. This is him at the height of his abilities to get people involved with this stuff.
Oh well, you know what? It's favors.
Totally. Yeah. Yeah. So I'm going to tell you right off the rip, I don't think this movie's good.
Okay.
And I'll tell you why, but like, and I'm not saying this is like everything else. Like I said, I don't love, let's an example of this. I'm not a big fennel guy in general, right?
Okay.
People love fennel, right? I get it, right?
I
I'm
like
just saying
fennel.
for me, right? I don't like too much fennel in my shit, right?
Yeah.
So
It's a strong flavor.
it's a strong flavor. Yeah. So let's go back to the beginning. Kevin Smith's a movie nerd, comic book nerd, makes Clerks, and then makes Mallrats. Like I said, both at the time I loved. Right. I still love Clerks. I still enjoy it.
Yep.
And I enjoy Mallrats for what it is.
Mm-hmm.
I saw this movie, kind of didn't know what I thought of it. Revisiting, so now you can go on to YouTube and watch certain scenes and stuff like that, which I did.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
I went through and I completely like went through and reread the entire script basically, right?
I would have brought you the movie.
No, that's fine. I don't even have a DVD player, but like I remembered most of it. You know what I mean? But like I had to get like a little bit of tutelage here on some like key plot points that I kind of forgot.
Yep.
So essentially, it's Matt Damon and Ben Affleck are playing Loki and Bartleby, right? And
Yep.
they get expelled from heaven, right?
Mhm.
Loki's the basically angel of death, right?
Yeah.
Bartleby sells him on laying down his sword, getting drunk, and they get expelled from heaven, and basically no angels are allowed to get drunk again. That's basically the beginning of it.
Yeah, and you're not allowed back in heaven. So the movie actually starts off with like a disclaimer. Right at the no, there's a scene at the very beginning. So it's three teenagers, they're like on rollerblades. They run up to a homeless guy that's on a boardwalk, and they basically kick the shit out of him, and the dude ends up in a coma, right?
Yep.
So now title card comes up, Dogma, and then there's a disclaimer. It says, this film is meant to be satire and not a direct attack on anybody's faith. Because he got a ton of shit.
Oh, people protesting it like crazy.
Oh my God. Which is like Buddy Jesus. Like
Yep.
that's in the movie is like a huge meme that people don't even know what the fuck it's from.
Yep.
It's from this movie.
Yeah, it's like what was the movie with Seth Rogen where they did the fake Kim Jong-un?
Oh yeah.
The Dictator.
Dictator. No,
Like-
not Dictator. Dictator is with Sacha Baron Cohen.
Oh yeah. Whatever it's called. You know what I'm talking about though, right?
Yeah.
Like they got a bunch of fucking that was a whole mess.
So much
But-
shit. Yeah, they're gonna say it's gonna cause World War III.
Yes. So essentially go on. But basically like they get expelled from heaven, right?
Yep.
And then you're introduced to the female character, who's the Leah. What's her name? The actress.
Her name is
Leah Loretino, whatever. her name is.
Linda Florentino.
Linda
She
Florentino.
plays Bethany.
Okay, so go ahead. So go ahead. You can lead it out.
All right, so yeah, so basically Bartleby reads they're back there on Earth. So Bartleby is played by Ben Affleck. He reads a newspaper that New Jersey church is offering what is the word for the thing? It's like a centennial. So
Yeah.
the church is doing a centennial. So he knows that there's like a loophole that if you walk through
Hold on 1 second. I don't mean to interrupt you. What's up?
yeah.
Doing a Zoom podcast. It's just my son poking his head in at the track. Go ahead.
So he knows that there's a loophole in like the Catholic Church that if there's a church celebrating its centennial, it creates like this fucking Jesus magic that if you walk through, it washes away all your sins. So in his mind, they're going to walk through the gates and be able to return to heaven because they were banished, and that is the whole plot of this movie, is them trying to get there to do this act. Then it'll go to Bethany. Bethany works at like a Planned Parenthood clinic, who after divorce and a miscarriage, like just doesn't believe in God anymore. She used to. And she's visited at night by Metatron, who is played by Alan Rickman, who you mentioned. And he is playing the voice of God.
Yes. Um, so Alan Rickman obviously is like an unbelievable actor.
Oh, yeah.
He
You know him
also
from Harry Potter. You know him from a bunch of shit.
so apparently he's a huge Mallrats fan, and Kevin Smith found out, so asked him to be
Oh,
in it.
okay.
And he
That's
was like,
great.
his only stipulation was that he wanted the wings to be real, and that he wanted the script to be followed. Like he's like, I don't want to be in a fucking just like everybody go off and do their own thing. So
Okay.
it was like, and Kevin Smith apparently had to pull Jay Muse aside and be like, dude, Alan Rickman's coming on the set. Like, you can't be like fucking just smoking weed like all over the place. And
He
like,
had to be sober, I think, for 6 months before they were able to start filming. I think that was
and
just, I read that as well.
yeah, and Jay Muse learned every line in the movie, like everybody's line. So you could read the script like back and forth. That's how
Wow.
like, yeah, that's how intense it was.
Dedicated. I love that. And Alan Rickman obviously plays Hans Gruber, which is
Yep.
just another incredible Christmas movie. Um, what else? I actually had a fun fact about him. Alan Rickman reportedly loved playing Metatron. The fire sprinkler gag, which is takes place while the first opening scene where he appears, was because angels were portrayed as being terrifying, so he wanted it to be super scary. So when he first appears, he basically sounds like the Wizard of Oz. Like his voice is just echoing through the whole house, and it scares the shit out of Bethany,
Yep.
which I thought was pretty cool. So basically, Metatron says two prophets are going to help Bethany on her journey. She is the one that is going to be able to stop Loki and Bartleby. So she does not believe this. She's like I said,
Yeah, it's
she's like,
bullshit.
ever since that I had my abortion, ever since she lost the baby, got divorced, she stopped believing in God. These are all stories. It's all bullshit. He like starts doing some Jesus magic, and she wakes up and she's heading to her car and almost gets attacked by three demons. The same demons
Same
at
kids.
the very beginning of the movie, and then inserts Jay and Silent Bob. And Jay and Silent Bob, obviously Jason Mewes is just trying to fuck her the whole time,
Yeah.
which I think is like
Yeah.
hilarious. It's
Yeah.
hilarious. This movie's definitely like dick and fart jokes.
Yeah.
That's what Jay and Silent Bob are.
Yeah.
Were you a fan of those movies?
Like the original ones or
Like the Jay and Silent Bob movies?
yeah, I think they're okay. I mean, here like I don't like I mean, I don't know if I'm gonna save this for later, but I'll just say it. Like so here's what I think about Kevin Smith.
Okay.
I've watched Evening with Kevin Smith. I've watched all that stuff, right? I think
Yep.
Kevin Smith is a very interesting guy. I like Kevin Smith. I used to watch the comic book show, like whether the comic book
Comic book
store.
men.
Yeah, I used to watch that. So I like Kevin Smith as a person. So I'm not, and I think that he is a good storyteller. This movie, I think, is out of his depth. That's what I think.
Okay.
So, but listen, I also think that like he's a comic book fan, and it's a comic book type movie. Like it almost plays like a comic book, right?
Yeah.
So I get that. I think Kevin Smith's a little bit of a ball licker. I think he'd love to sleep with Ben Affleck, like if he had his fucking druthers.
He probably sucked his dick.
He probably did. I like Kevin Smith. I just think like, and I don't dislike this movie, so don't get that wrong. I don't like think this is like a movie that's not worth watching. I just think that I think in his head he had this like opus. This is like his opus. You would say that of all his films, this is like his most like ambitious of his endeavors, I would say. And I don't know if it quite gets there. That's what I would say. I'm not saying it
Okay.
doesn't for everybody. I'm saying for me,
Yeah.
it doesn't quite get to where I want to go. And it could also be the fact that there's certain aspects of it, like we could just talk about, like the CGI is bad in this movie.
Oh yeah, it's 1999.
It's 99. It's got its limitations. Is it way better if he does it today? He probably can't get those people, so it's a moot point. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
The fact that he has the people in the movie, if he didn't have these people in the movie,
it's a shit movie.
it's a shit movie. You know what I mean? But he
The
does.
cast
So
makes it.
he does. So let's keep going with the plot. So you keep going with the plot.
Um, there is one thing I'll say is I love road trip movies.
Yep. Yep.
This movie is a road trip movie.
It is.
Not only is it a road trip movie, you're getting two people's perspective, which I found very interesting on their separate road trip journeys.
Yeah, you're
So
getting Bartleby and Loki.
you get Bartleby and Loki, and then you're getting Bethany, Jay, and Silent Bob,
Yep.
which then introduces some other characters that help them. So Bethany convinces them they're going that way, but they're both going to end up at the same destination.
Yep.
So let's start with Bartleby and Loki first. They end up like they're just like anybody that sins, they're just going to kill.
Yep.
That's what they're at. They end up at like movies, which, if you don't know, is a fast food chain that is in the lore of all Kevin Smith's movies. They're in the corporate offices of movies, and they walk into the boardroom and like just they know everybody's sins because like they're angels and they can see what the hell you did.
Yeah, and it's I think it's Bartleby that can tell everybody's sins, right?
Yeah, he's
it's
like
him.
he's like a watcher,
Yeah.
the angel of like watching or
Yeah.
whatever. So basically they just execute everybody in the boardroom for their sins, and Bartleby begins to question the morality of humans because Bartleby like is very like Bartleby's played by Ben Affleck, and Matt Damon's Loki. So Loki Loki is the god of mischief in like Loki, like in depending on what lore you follow. So this lore is just taking the name Loki and it doesn't relate.
Yeah, because there is some like online scuttlebutt about the fact that like Jason Lee plays Azrael, the demon.
Yeah.
And in lore, Azrael is actually the killer, usually, or the bad. And then usually
Yeah.
Loki is, like you said, the angel of mischief. Or the mischief, whatever,
Yeah.
creator. So
Yeah.
I don't really give a shit. I just noticed that.
So basically there's like a moral conundrum here, which I like. It adds depth to the story where Matt Damon is wanting to just murder everybody. Like there's a scene where they're riding on the bus trying to travel to this church, and he sees a guy wearing a wedding ring making out with another girl. And he's like, do you see, what's going on? And he's like, they're just kissing. He's like, he's married. And he's like, yeah, so what? And he's like, excuse me, sir, can I ask you a question? The guy's like, yeah, what the hell do you want? He's like, you married? He's like, yeah. And he just turns around, starts making out with her again. And he turns to Ben Affleck, and Ben Affleck's like, yeah, I told you. And he goes, no, hold on 1 second. No, are you married to her? He goes, not that it's any of your fucking business. No, I'm not. So he goes, you see what I'm saying? Like adultery, like there's just sin everywhere.
Yeah.
So he pulls out a fucking pistol and just blows his brains out.
Yeah.
so,
Yeah.
so there's like there's little depth pieces throughout this whole movie that I really like, which I think it is why I like it as a movie.
Yeah, let me
even-
also state, by the way, for the record, I don't give a fuck about Catholicism. Like, I am not I'm not sitting there like, drinking wine on Sundays and taking my fucking communion wafers. So like, I don't have any problem with like which I don't even think the movie really is like taking the piss out of Catholicism. I think it's more like a comment on morality and also like, I don't know. Like, I think it's a comment on like humanity and like decisions that are made. And like, we'll get into it later, but there's like a moral dilemma that happens later in the movie. It kind of sends Bartleby over the edge, I guess.
Yes. So now it'll cut to Bethany and Jay and Silent Bob. They're on the road. Um, their car breaks down and they have to like hoof it. Bethany's like, I'm just done with this. I don't even know why I'm trying to believe this. I'm just going home. Then Chris Rock, who's played by the 13th Apostle,
Plays
which, if you know,
Rufus, the
plays
13th
Rufus,
apostle.
which is there's 12 apostles, if you
Yeah.
know anything about Catholicism. There is no 13th apostle. But like he's like, I'm left out of the books, whatever.
Yeah.
He just falls out of the sky. And he tells Bethany that she's one of the last descendants of Jesus.
Well,
She's
doesn't that
somehow
come at the end? I
is
think
it the end?
yeah, at the beginning, from what I remember, I'm pretty sure he's like, "You're the last Zion," and then towards the end, she finds that out.
So
I
I think that
think
happens in Act Two.
maybe it happens in Act Two. Go ahead.
Yeah, because they're
You
sitting
did
around.
you did watch the movie last night, and I didn't watch it.
Yeah,
So go ahead.
they're like sitting around a campfire, and he tells her, this is how he gets her on board to continue the journey. So they continue in the journey. They end up at a bar. I think at this point it introduces, like, you see glimpses of Israel, the demon. So he has a grand master
Played by
plan.
Jason Lee.
Late Jason Lee. His grand master plan is to get the angels to cross the threshold. That's why he has the three demons that are on the rollerblades.
Yeah, because it is revealed that basically, like, essentially, if they cross the threshold, they think they could be washed of their sins. He ends up telling them that that's not a truth, and that basically what's going to happen is they're going to just fucking Thanos the whole place.
They're going to Thanos the whole place. Is going to cause like hell on earth,
Yeah.
and him being the demon that's stuck there will be the ruler.
Yeah, because he refused to fight in the battle between hell and heaven, if I remember correctly.
Yes, which he was an angel and then
Yeah.
got sentenced to hell for
Yeah.
not wanting to fight.
Let me say one thing about this movie.
Yes.
Interject.
Yes.
This is a great movie. If you were in 1999, put yourself back in 99. Say
Yep.
you're 22, which I was.
Yep.
Now, I did not see this with a female. I think I saw it with two of my buddies. That said, this would be a perfect movie at that time to take a girl to if you were trying to get laid afterwards.
Oh, it is a great
Date movie.
It's like a Wedding Crashes.
It's like you're not going to be, nobody's going to be bummed out or depressed afterwards. It's
Yeah.
a fun ride. I'll give it that. It's a very fun ride. And it's got like cameo. So it's like, this is a movie that like, you're like, I got a good shot at getting laid afterwards. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, it has laughs in it, so it has
and
some
she'll probably
acting
see like
in it.
Matt Damon and Ben Affleck and be like, they're hot. So like, I'll pretend.
Yeah,
to be
she's
right
gonna
now.
get all horned up watching them. So that's gonna be great. Which I thought was a fun little Easter egg too is the Kevin Smith got the triplets that rollerblade that work for Israel. He got the idea from villains in the Teenage Mutant Turtles.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. So that's where they came from, which I thought was pretty cool. All right, so after the Masca, after Rufus, I think this is where we meet the Muse, which is played by
Yeah, it's a strip club scene, right?
Selma Hayek.
Yeah, who is, by the way, at that time in her life, not that she isn't now, she's throwing 105 in the paint. Like, I mean, talk about a broad that's just like absolutely throwing complete gas.
She's 1,000.
Yeah, and I think this is coming off of Dust Till Dawn, I believe.
Yeah, I think that this was either her second or third movie.
Yeah.
So from Dust Till Dawn was her first movie.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, so you meet her. She is the Muse. If you don't know what like a muse is, like you're a musician.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes you're writing and then like something just comes to you.
Yep.
That's what her role is. She is the person that plants ideas in your head. That's an angel, like she's a muse. So that's what she does. That's her role. They turn to her for help. They're in the bar and then they encounter While on the road, the team is attacked by uh oh, I can't even pronounce
It's like the
this friggin' name.
Gorgle something or
Golgothan. G
Gogolum or something like that.
Golgothan.
Yeah.
So he's a shit demon. He's
Yep.
literally a shit demon. He's born from the bodies of human excrement. And they have to like fight him off. And I think this is really what you said. The CGI really fucking sucks. There's two really bad CGIs in this movie. This is one of them.
This
The
is
shit
bad.
demon.
This is bad.
He looks like
It's like Chet in Weird Science. If you've ever seen that.
yeah, a little bit like that. And he looks like who's the purple McDonald's guy? Grimace.
Grimace. Yeah.
He looks like a brown Grimace with like
Yeah.
more texture and corn in it.
Yeah. Yeah.
He looks horrible. So they got to fight off the shit demon. He was designed as a parody of monster horror tropes. And well, I have another fun
Kevin Smith
fact.
ends up like um the only thing they can do to stop him, he basically uses like air freshener that like knocks him out.
Yeah, they got to air freshen him to death.
Yeah.
Which is, I mean, it's stupid. So yeah, I mean, I could see how like there's. I mean, how old was I in fucking 1999? I was born in
10 years younger
87.
than me, so I was 22 in 99, so you were 12.
I was 12. So
Yeah.
like
You're probably like, yeah.
my 12-year-old brain like loves this movie,
Yeah.
you know, and rightfully so. I was fucking 12. Um, so like I said, they're in the strip club. That's where they meet. Serendipity is her name, so she's a literal muse. Uh, she helps interpret Bethany's vision because Bethany's having visions and reminds her God is missing. So they're looking for God. God is not in heaven. We haven't learned why God is not in heaven.
Yeah.
That's why the voice of God came and said that they needed her help because she's the last descendant of God. We're coming into Act 3 at this point. So Act 3, Israel's revelation. The demon Israel, Jason Lee, is revealed to be the true villain. He orchestrated the plan so the angels could end of all creation, freeing everyone from heaven and hell. He holds the group hostage, and now we are in a bar. So actually, right before the bar scene, they go to the church to get the help from George Carlin, who plays a priest.
Yeah, he plays the cardinal.
He plays the cardinal, and he is having none of this. He
No.
doesn't believe them whatsoever. He's like, I'm still going on with the
It is a great
centennial.
question, by the way, is like, all right. It's funny, right? So I think about this all the time because there was some show that was actually on like I can't remember what it was on. It was like a mini series. And it was about a guy who like is saying like he's Christ. And like he can do like he ends up being able to do some like miracles and stuff. It's supposed to be modern day. And it's like,
Yeah.
would anybody fucking believe this guy, including like fucking priests? Like, but it's an interesting question that's kind of posed because it's like, well, yeah, nobody believed Jesus, right? So it's like
That's
it's
why they
kind it is
crucified him.
like the ideas behind this I think are good and interesting.
It was ahead of its time.
I would say he was over skis is what I would say. But like with the idea, I think like anyways, go ahead. So Colin's like, yeah, I'm not doing it. Like there's no fucking I'm not shutting this thing down. Basically, they're trying to get him to shut down because if they shut it down, they can't walk through the doors.
Yes, exactly. So he refuses to help them. They're like, what the hell do we do now? They end up at this bar. They're talking about it. That's when Israel shows up, holds them hostage, and he starts to reveal his plan. Now he reveals to them, like, I've been manipulating Bartleby and Loki this whole time. I'm going to cause hell on Earth. There's nothing you can do to stop me. Blah, 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 blah. He murders the fucking bartender. He's like, I actually like the scene because
Yeah.
tries
to order a holy
bartender.
holy bartender. Yeah.
Yeah, which he is in the guy that plays the bartender, I believe, is in Comic Book Man.
Oh, really? I wouldn't know that. The only reason I wouldn't know is because you can't stream this fucking movie. So go ahead.
Yeah,
Anyways.
he's in Comic Book Man. There's like some of the cast of Clerks is in this. One dude is playing like a arms dealer, like he works at like a gun shop. The other guy is a reporter. The two main characters. So now he goes up to Silent Bob and he's like, "There's nothing you can do to stop me. I'm a fucking demon. I am way more powerful than anything you could throw at me. I'll give you your best shot." So
They had
Jake
stolen the
driver
driver, the golf driver, like the driver golf club
from the
from
Cardinal.
the Cardinal.
So he hits him in the chest. And then here is the second terrible CGI of this movie. He like turns black and like it looks like ink is pouring out of him. It
Yeah.
looks so bad.
Yeah, it's bad.
So he's like, "How? I don't understand how, whatever." And he just fucking explodes and dies. And they're like all looking at each other. And he's like, "How the hell did I kill him?" And he's like, "Well, you heard him." Selma Hayek does this voice and he goes, "I'm a fucking demon." And it just replays his voice. That always cracked me up. And he goes, "Leave it to the Cardinal to bless his own clubs to get a golf game, a better golf game."
Yeah.
And that reminds me of my cousin. I feel like he would do something like that. So now we're coming to the end of the movie at this point.
Yep.
So the next part is Bartleby and Loki make it to the church. Now, what happens
We did
where
miss one key scene. So
Okay,
just going
what
back in
happened?
time
Yep.
was there's a key scene that we missed, which was the whole crew, the Zion, Jay and Silent Bob, and Bobby and Loki meet on a train.
Oh, on the train. I can't
Yeah.
believe I forgot that. I just
So
fucking watched it.
it's like a key point in the movie where they
Yep.
like, and then they kind of realize that actually Bartleby's having this long, deep conversation with her about like God and like, he's like, I don't know. I think a key point in the movie is that like the Ben Affleck character of Bartleby is like having the same kind of like wrestling with like,
Yeah, it's like a moral conundrum.
moral conundrum. Like she's wrestling with the fact that like she's not allowed to have kids, and this is an act of this is God turning his back on her, and he feels like God's turned his back on him. So like there's this, and then they all realize who's who, and at that point they throw Bartleby and Loki off the train. Bartleby tries to kill her, and essentially, but they meet. They do have met before this whole thing happens.
Yeah, it's the road trip. They're both on their
Yeah.
separate road trip, and
That
then
meets.
they intertwine on the train, have that conversation, then they part ways again. They end up at the bar.
All right, let's
They
stop
end
real
up at
quick
the
to do
church.
this because I want to ask you this because we do it in
Yeah.
Sinners, we do it in every movie.
Yes.
What is your snack for this movie?
Ooh. See, this is, you know what I had while I was watching this movie?
What?
And it's not something you could probably bring in a theater. I mean, you could, but you have to bring it from home. Frozen grapes.
Wow, that is
Yeah.
that's something I feel like I'd want if I was watching like Sideways.
Yeah, it's definitely like a sophisticated snack. It
Yeah.
does not belong to this movie whatsoever. That
But that's
just
what you have.
happens. That's just what happens. This movie's like a sloppy Joe
I'm
movie.
going popcorn. For me, I'm going if I'm getting like snacks I can get there. I'm going popcorn and watermelon Sour Patch Kids.
Watermelon Sour Patch is great.
Yeah.
Any type of Sour Patch Kids, or I can see like Crunch a bunch of Crunch.
Yeah, I go with that.
Maybe
Yeah.
maybe Butterfingers.
Yeah. Yeah, but I'm going for me for this movie. It's a sour watermelon or sour candy movie with the popcorn, obviously cherry Coke. I mean, it's a layup.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like popcorn and cherry Coke is going to be a part of every
If you're
movie.
not a cherry Coke person, you're a fucking zero. You're a loser.
Yeah,
Like cherry
that's
Coke
the-
fucking rules.
That's the only thing. Either that or it's like I love root beer as well.
I like root beer a lot.
I go root beer or I go cherry Coke. Those are my two sodas no matter what.
Yep. Okay, so
Even
now
though-
they're at the bar. They Azrael's dead.
They kill the fucking demon. And then it cuts to them Loki and Bartleby reaching the church.
Yep.
Now, do you want to set up the scene here?
So, well, first of all, Bartleby's lost it at this point.
Yeah.
He's completely gone over the edge. I read in some article, which I thought was a good take. So this is not my original thought, but he's become like a jealous boyfriend who's lost it. You know what I mean? Because he's
Yeah.
jealous of the humans because the humans can decide if they want to believe or not. And the
Yeah.
angels have to
They have
believe. They
free. They
know
have free
they have
will.
free will, and the angels have no free will.
None.
So he's lost at this point. So you can go from there.
But it's also hard not to believe in something you physically have seen with your eyes. And I think that's where the moral, not really moral, I don't think that's the word I'm looking for, but that human aspect where it's hard to believe in something you can't see. It's like kids believe in Santa because their parents tell them to. Kids believe in God because their parents tell them to. It's not something you can see, and that's why it's called faith. And that's what I believe he is jealous of.
So I have to say this. I always have this argument with Fitzy a little bit where I'm like, I like to
He's
play.
super,
I
super
play it,
religious.
well, not super religious, but he's more religious than I am. I play it as a little bit of a bit because, I mean, look, nobody wants to fucking wake up and realize like there's a fucking sweet ass fucking place to hang out with. But I just got a lot of questions about heaven. I've said this before.
Yeah.
I'm like, so like I said to Maggie one time, like, what if I died and you married like my buddy from college, Cedar, right? He was a great guy. And she's
Yeah.
like, yeah, well, whatever. And I'm like, so what if you get back to heaven? Like, we sharing you? Like, what happens then? You know what I mean? She's like, I don't think about it that way. I'm like, well, I do, because that's fucking reality. Like, what happens then? So, like, but Fitzy sent me this reel that
What
was,
a
I think,
great, what a great argument.
you know what I mean? Like, what the fuck? Like,
What do you
so
do?
can I be pissed? I should be able to be pissed. If it's heaven, I can do whatever I want. So Fitzy sent me this thing, and it was a reel about this guy. It's a guy talking on like a podcast. He's like, I think, and he was saying that, like, all right, picture if there were two babies in a womb, and one baby says to the other one, like, when you get out of here, there's gonna be like all this shit to do. And the baby's like, what are you talking about? Like, we're in the fucking pool of like fucking liquid in the dark. And he's like, no, there's gonna be fucking like games, there's gonna be fucking amusement parks and shit. And you're like, dude, there's fucking what are you talking about? All that's in here is fucking fluid and like, whatever. And it's like all of a sudden you realize, yeah, you didn't know everything that was possible. It's the only thing I've ever seen that I was like, oh, that actually like kind of like made me think like, holy shit, maybe that's true. I don't know everything. That
Yeah.
said, I'm definitely not going to sit here and follow some fucking moral high ground to some book just because it, tells me what I'm supposed to do. So,
Yeah.
all right, so let's get back to the meat and potatoes. So they're at the church.
Yes. At this point, Loki like is ready to what happens? I don't know why I'm drawing a blank that makes that heel turn. What causes that heel turn?
Against Bartleby.
Yes.
He just sees that he's lost it, I think, and just is like, and then he just, as far as I remember, like I said, I read it.
Well, no, what causes the Loki in him? This is before they lose it. What causes Bartleby to turn? Because Loki's been the bad guy this whole time, killing everybody. If
Yeah.
Bartleby has been the kind of like the good cop.
Yeah, I can't remember, but like, because like I said, I haven't been able to stream it. But from what I remember, I thought he's slowly like fucking just going into like basically
Well, he
like
becomes
losing.
completely unhinged
Yes,
and gets hammered on like he gets drunk on divine vengeance.
yes. And he
So
decides he wants it all to end at this point. Like he
he
wants to
just
fucking
starts killing everybody. He starts picking people up, flying all the way up in the air and just dropping bodies like
yeah.
like an absolute massacre. It is a really well shot. I feel like this with Kevin Smith and all his movies, you can't take it away how well shot his movies are, regardless how out of depth this movie, like plot wise, might have been. It's still shot well, minus the janky CGI.
Yeah, which I don't think you can pull off for 10 million bucks because even if it was
Yeah,
today, 10 million's like 50, right? So
yeah.
like I don't think you can get it done for 50.
It would be 10 million to do the CGI.
No, it'd be more than that, I think, like for what they were pulling off. You know what I mean?
I brought my cat to the vet yesterday because my cat was like dying because he ate Mother's Day flowers. It cost me $1,200 to get blood work.
Yeah, dude, don't even get me started on pets. This is the biggest waste of
Like
money it's ever fucking been.
it doesn't even make sense.
I've said this on pulling the cork a million times. Like, I don't know what fucking sadist was like, dude, we got a good thing going here. I got a wife, I got 2 kids. Let's get a wild animal and try to tame it and then bring it in the house. Like, it makes no sense. I don't
Oh,
understand.
my cat has congestive heart failure. They're like, I need to send it for an echocardiogram. I gotta send my cat to a cardiologist.
Dude, I'm telling you right now, you know what the best thing you do is go Loki on that cat. Like, just fucking,
I know
just,
Sabrina won't let me.
dude, drown it. Drown that fucking thing.
Sabrina won't let me. And it was, and I hate to say it because like my mom passed away. I don't like talking about, not that I don't like talking about it, I just don't want to bring the mood down. Uh my mom passed away. It was my mom's cat.
Okay,
So it's
that's
kind of
different. I get it.
it's
Yeah,
like the
yeah.
last
Thing you got
piece
left
of
to your
my
mom.
mom that
Yeah.
I have.
Yeah.
So it's kind of hot. Like the cat annoys the shit out of me, like
Yeah.
so much.
Yeah.
And Sabrina like loves this cat, and the cat is like 11. It's like
How
he's
old
got
is this cat?
like he's like 11. It's not that old.
Okay, yeah.
So the cat has like if he's healthy, 5, 6, 7 years left, easy.
Yeah, gotcha. Sure.
So it's like, I mean, what do I
But
put the cat
dude,
down?
I have a fucking Boston Terrier, Maggie. It's Maggie's dog. Dog hates me. I do everything
Yeah,
with the dog. Hates my guts. Like a year or two ago, he jumped. Something happened, and all of a sudden he was just shaking, and I'm like, this dog's dying. And I took him, and we took him. They're like, oh, he just like I think he pulled a muscle like in his hip, and I'm like,
yeah.
so the dog's just a pussy. That's what this dog is. This dog's a fucking bitch. Is basically what you're telling me. I already
He
knew this.
pulled a
Like,
hamstring.
yeah. This dog's a fucking bitch. What's he gonna be like when he's dying? You know what I mean? Like, what a drama queen. This dog's a fucking piece of shit. You know?
He's just laying there like this.
Yeah. Playing dead. Yeah. So, anyways, he goes full heel. He's killing everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then, I think it goes back to the bar,
Yes.
right? And then Jay Muse, they're still trying to figure out where the fuck God is, right? So they're trying to do uh, like
They're
they're
trying to Scooby Doo this shit.
trying to deduce like what could happen because he's not in heaven, but he's not down on earth. So they kind of figure out he's got to be in a coma, basically.
Well, almost. So
Am I
you're
wrong?
almost there.
Okay.
No, you're not wrong, but it doesn't happen there. So the person that realizes this is Bethany.
Yeah.
So this happens when they get there. So the whole gang gets there. They start they're like, how do we stop these guys? I have no fucking clue how to stop them. They're fucking tearing everybody apart. It comes to Loki is now the one that has grown empathetic and tries to stop Bartleby. Bartleby ends up ripping off his wings and killing him.
Yeah.
And when you rip off an angel's wings, they become human.
Yeah.
So I think that's what happens. He rips his wings off or cuts his wings off, and that's what causes the empathy. And so Ben Affleck's character, Bartleby, ends up killing Loki. And Loki was the one that wanted to kill everybody in the first place.
Yep.
So then Jason Mewes pulls out. Remember I told you that what's his name from Clerks sells guns? He bought like a fucking Uzi, shoots Ben Affleck's wings completely off. Now he turns human, and that's what you needed to happen in order to cross the threshold. So basically, they can't stop him. Now Bethany realized they're talking, and Jason Mewes pulls Bethany aside and was like, "Hey, you said end of the world, you'd fuck me," and then said something. I forget what the actual verbiage was, but then Bethany was like, "Oh, the homeless guy at the very beginning of the movies, now it comes full circle, is God trapped in a coma. So God can't get back into heaven because the homeless guy is in a coma." So she runs to the hospital, pulls the plug on him. God passes through her, and now she's mortally wounded. And God comes out of the church as soon as Ben Affleck tries to open the door to pass through.
We've always known, by the way, they've been dropping hints at this point that it's not a man, that God is a woman.
Yeah. They've been saying a woman, they've been saying her, or they've been saying Chris Rock was saying God's black. Which I thought everyone thinks God's white, God's black. Like, there's a little funny thing throughout this whole movie. So God is Alanis Morissette. She appears, she's whimsical, but she's completely silent. So that's why you have the voice of God, which is Alan Rickman. So he appears with her and says, if you're not, if you don't want to die, cover your ears. Then she opens her mouth and just like a single note comes out of her mouth, and Bartleby's head just explodes. So, we're coming right to the end of the movie. She kills him with a single note. They're like, "Where's Bethany?" They save the day. The day is saved. God's free. She fixes everything except now Jason Mewes shows up with Bethany dead in his arms when she freed, like I said, the guy in the coma.
Yep.
God passed through her and it ended up killing her. So now God resurrects her. Like she does the little,
Mr. Miyagi.
she Mr. Miyagi's him, and then resurrects him. And Bethany awakens and is now pregnant. Like they can like understand each other and like.
I think Alan Rickman tells her, right, that she's pregnant, I believe.
Yeah. Yes.
Is how it goes.
Yes.
Yeah. And then is that pretty much it?
Yeah, I think the final moments was Rufus and Serendipity head back to heaven. Bethany, Jay, and Silent Bob part ways. And Silent Bob finally speaks with an Indiana Jones line. It just says like no ticket.
Yeah.
Like this is the only word he says in the whole movie.
Well, doesn't he say that on the I thought he says that on the train when he pushes him off the train.
Oh yeah,
There's no
you're right.
ticket, and then at the end he says one word, and I can't remember what the word is. There's 3 words in the entire movie.
Yeah.
All right, so let's go into a couple things. First of all, I found out that first of all they originally wanted Alanis Morissette to play Bethany.
Yes.
And there was like scheduling conflict because of touring or whatever.
Yes.
I think that would have been a mistake.
Not only that, the girl that does play Bethany, everybody said she was very difficult to work with.
Yeah, like
she didn't even want that role to begin with either.
Yeah, and then there was a third potential was going to be Janine Garofalo, which I think would have been way better.
I do like Janine Garofalo.
Janine Garofalo would have been way better. So here's what I think overall about the movie.
Yes.
I like when people swing for the fences. I'm going to say that. I love
it's a fence. It's a fence swinger.
I don't think it gets there for me. Only, and I think it's like I was saying before. I think if it didn't have like all the, the great favors called in, I think we're not even talking about this movie.
Okay.
I think that, like, it's first of all, you watch this movie, and like I said, I only was able to watch scenes in the last 2 days. Ben Affleck and Matt Damon look so young in this movie.
They're so baby-faced.
They're so baby-faced. I thought that I think that Kevin Smith, I don't know how to describe this, but like I think that like he does his best stuff with less experienced actors. Like I think that
he gets more out of them.
he gets more out of it the way he writes dialogue, which is his dialogue is kind of hitchy. And then I think that like it makes it a little bit more glaring when you got like a guy like Alan Rickman in there, who's like a trained theater actor from England. And then you have like, then it's like the juxtaposition of that with like Chris Rock, who's like a comedic actor, right? Or whatever. What I think is great in the movie. I think the idea of it and everything is really good. I think like it's like, I'm not saying it's not worth watching. I think it's worth watching. I think that like, I think Kevin Smith, who I really like, and I like listening to him talk, he tells great stories. Like he tells great stories about like the things that have happened to him in Hollywood and all that stuff.
He's a good storyteller.
Good storyteller. I don't like. I think if Kevin Smith today, you'd never hear of him. You just wouldn't.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
he'd probably write indie comics. Like he was just at the right time, right place, right time.
I like his horror. more than anything. Have you seen?
Like
And
Tusk. You like Tusk?
I love Tusk, and that movie is super fucked up. And I actually wrote it on my list of movies that like I potentially want to watch.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, look. I mean, I think also like you realize. Look, I think we also realize. Okay, you got a guy who comes from fucking just basically like comes out, puts out Clerks, right? And then
Yep,
everybody wants a piece of the guy, right? They're like
yep,
throwing money at him, right? So he makes Mallrats. I love Mallrats. Makes Chasing Amy, right? I love
yep.
Chasing Amy. The finger cuffs. I fucking love Chasing Amy.
Great movie.
Um, I think he's better. Like, I'm not saying that the whole idea of this movie isn't a good idea because I do think there's some great stuff in it. Like, I
Yep.
almost think it would have been a better comic, if that makes any sense. Like, it's written like
Maybe
a
a
comic,
graphic novel.
graphic novel, right? Or whatever, like Batman Arkham, right? Something like that. Um, it plays like that. It definitely like is kind of like the way the scenes move and everything is like a comic, in my opinion.
Yeah, I
Um,
agree. I agree.
I like, don't love. I think it's like I think it's not. I think the ideas are good, but I think it's not super well executed. And I feel like some of the acting doesn't feel like it's all in the same movie.
Yeah, he's had some duds. Cop Out. Did you see Cop Out? I thought that was kind of a dud with
Yeah,
Bruce
was
Willis and Tracy Morgan.
yeah Jiggly, right?
Yeah. Zach and Mary Make a
Oh, is
Porno
it
was
Jersey?
good.
Jersey
Jersey Girl.
is that it? Or Jiggly is the different one I'm thinking of. Jiggly's not his, right?
Jiggly's not his. Jersey Girl is his. Um,
That's Affleck and her. By the way, she must be a raging fucking bitch.
yeah.
Like she got to be the worst person in the world.
Yeah, so Mallrats was his first. No, it was Clerks, Mallrats, Chasing Amy, Dogma, then Jay and Silent Bob, Jersey Girl, Clerks 2,
Jersey
Zack
Girl's
and
where
Mary.
it's Jersey Girl's where it starts to like be like, uh-oh, like it's kind of fucking going down the wrong road.
Yeah, then they went
Um,
Clerks 2, which I liked Clerks 2.
yeah, I think like overall, I think the movie's worth watching. If for nothing else, like it's an interesting.
Give me a grade.
You're not gonna like it.
Okay, we don't have
I
to.
think it's a C. I think it's a C for me. I think it's a C.
Okay, out of numbers.
All right, I think it's a 73.
I was gonna say 76.
Wow. All right, so we're not far off.
We're not far off. I was 12 years old
Yeah, I'm
when
not
this
even saying
movie
you have to
came out.
defend it on that. Although it's a very like viable way to defend it because time, place. We talked about the other day. Like we were talking about on pulling the cork about like Fitzy's brother was saying that like one summer like Burger King hit like good on like hangovers, and he was like into Burger King breakfast, and Burger King
Yeah.
breakfast is trash. So like it's like anything. It's like there's albums that I know aren't great, but I'm like when I heard this album, like at that time in my life, like I was there for that album. You know what I
Oh
mean?
yeah, exactly. I
So
think
yeah,
that describes this movie perfectly.
yeah,
Um, this movie is a movie you can watch once every like 2-3 years.
yeah. Like it's like an interesting. Like I'd watch this movie. Like I was trying to do before I knew it wasn't streaming. Was I said to my daughter, I'm like, we're gonna watch this movie tonight because I'm like, you'll think it's interesting. It's got Ben Affleck and Damon in it, and like,
Yeah,
it's an interesting snapshot at like that period of time. Um, I would say, yeah. I mean, it's coming out on streaming because it's gonna be the 25th anniversary, so I'd say check it out for sure. It's like a fucking dude. It's like you said. It's 2 hours. It moves pretty good. There's not a lot of points, and there's enough like cameos. It's weird because right, like think about it this way. In a regular movie, like there's these periods that you're like, all right, like this movie could have been an hour and 28. Say it's an hour and 28 minutes. It could have been, um, this could have been, could have been fucking 20 minutes shorter, right? The,
yeah.
the, the, what saves it is the fucking cameos because they move it along. You know
It
what I mean?
doesn't feel like it's
And people were invested in this world at that time, right? So you got to remember that they were invested in Kevin Smith, like what it's called, Skewverse or
like hubris,
Skewverse, yeah. So people were invested in
hubris with
that.
an H, hubris.
Yeah. No, 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 no. I'm thinking there's like a term for like the Kevin Smith universe. It's called like a
Oh, okay,
Skewverse or something like that.
gotcha.
People were invested in his brand at that time.
Yes,
So like
Absolutely.
they liked seeing, you know, Jay Muse, who's like his buddy from way back, who was in the original Clerks, and they liked seeing like the cameos. Then like you got Chris Rock in there, so it was like kind of like in a weird way, it
George
was like
Carlin.
yeah, it was like his big flex. And George Carlin's great in it.
Yep.
He's awesome in it. Also, a little tidbit which I read was that George Carlin in those scenes, he had just lost his wife, is
Yeah.
wearing a band-aid over this finger because he didn't want to take his ring off.
Yeah.
So
And
like
he's a cardinal. He's not supposed to be married.
yeah, exactly. Um, so I thought it was like I said, like I think it's by far it's not perfect. It's a fucking C movie.
It has its moments.
It has its moments, and like for me, like if I'm saying to somebody's like, "Oh, I've never seen a Kevin Smith movie," I'm telling you, watch Clerks,
Well,
watch
this isn't
Mallrats.
gonna be. Yeah, this isn't the. Yeah, I would tell them to watch Tusk before anything. But I'm
Yeah,
a massive horror fan, so that's
yeah,
me.
you're like, so I was never a horror fan. So
Yep.
like, really, my son got wicked into horror movies, like when he was in like fifth grade. And like, so I
Yep.
went and saw like everything that was in theaters at that time. So I got into horror movies late. So I do like horror movies now. Like I like a horror movie.
Yep.
I didn't get the appeal early. Now I get it, which is like a horror movie. The point of a movie, in my opinion, is to like take you out of the fucking shit that you're dealing with in your own life, right?
Yeah.
And
Oh,
like
absolutely.
it's like a 2 hour meditation, like where you're like, I'm not thinking about fucking the bills I gotta pay and the fucking
Yeah.
shit that I'm dealing with, right? Whatever you're going through. I'm thinking about whatever's going on in this movie. And horror does that on a 10 because it
Oh, yeah.
literally fucking like you're on the
It
fucking
pulls you right in.
pulls you right in, right? So I think so horror for me, like just going into that is like a newer thing for me, but I love horror movies now. Yeah, I mean I think look, I think he's not like the equivalent of this today. It would never exist. This would be like somebody you can now get. You can get Zach Efron in this movie. You can get fucking Zendaya in this movie. You can get you're getting everybody who's hot coming to this movie, right? You're getting
Yeah.
like everybody who's good, right? And a couple like cameos from some fucking unbelievable comics. You get Adam Sandler playing the Cardinal. You know what I mean? Like you'd really be. It would be. It's amazing to see what he got done at that time with this. I would say that's just accomplishment in its own right.
Yeah, I agree.
But like for me, yeah, it's not like
It's a turn your brain off movie.
yeah, it's a fucking like, you know, it's I don't know, like today's day and age, the way kids watch movies, my kids watch them at least. Like they love what's the one what's the Sandler movie where they go to the it's like I don't know. It's the one where they're all go to like New Hampshire and it's like I forget the name of the fucking one, but whatever. They watch these movies now. It's like they just love like the camaraderie type movies, the comedy type movies, and like they like seeing like David Spade's in this, and this guy's in this, and this guy's in this.
Yeah.
Adam Sandler's kind of done that like perfectly. Like he's got all these guys in his corner. He's got this big deal at Netflix, so he's got like
Even
this.
he's made some fucking stinkers.
Oh, of course he has, and like, dude, a lot of his shit doesn't hold up. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Mm.
I love Sandler. Like, I literally like I watch Hubie Halloween 6 times during Halloween with my kids, and I laugh at it
Okay.
every fucking time, right?
Yep.
Some people think Hubie Halloween blows, right?
Yep.
So for me, part of the reason I love Hubie Halloween is I'm a Sandler guy. When I was a kid, that was the big thing. Sandler. I had the tape. I had the fucking, you know, the Willie Tollbooth Willie thing, all that stuff.
Oh,
And
yeah.
then my kids like it, and it's like so for me, it's like place and time, right? I can
Yep.
see why somebody else would watch it and be like, I think this is dumb. You know what I mean? Like now, if I just watched it straight, I'd probably be like, I don't know, this whatever. Like,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
fine.
It's kind of
But I watch like all the little things. It's like
you know what I love that I think we should do is Uncut Gems.
Uncut Gems is great. I mean, Uncut Gems is like, don't watch that if you got the Sunday scaries or if you got problems going on in your life because it will
If you
just
have any hint of anxiety in your life,
it is
probably don't
not.
watch it.
It is fucking a absolute anxiety fucking movie.
Sure, Anxiety Fest, but it's an incredible movie. I think we should do that. And I think when Happy Gilmore 2 comes out, we should do a double feature, talk about Happy 1 and Happy 2.
I love it. I think it's a great one. Yeah, so I mean, I enjoy it. I think it's good for what it is. You know what I mean? Like it's almost like a time capsule for me. You know what I mean? It's like that was what was cool about going back through it, like for what I could because it doesn't stream.
Yep.
Was that I was like, oh, kind of forgot about this time period until I went back through it. You know what I mean? Like where all these guys were in their careers and like all that stuff happening.
Yep.
I mean, because if you look at that list now, you're like, holy shit, what a fucking A list. You know what I mean?
It's super star-studded.
Yeah, and the problem is like, not the problem, but this is the way the world works. It's like kids now would watch that and be like, who the fuck is this old guy playing the cardinal? Right? And it's
Yeah.
one of the
They
best
would have
stand-up comics
no
of all
clue.
time. It's
Yeah.
like I have you can't see it here, but like I have a poster in here of Norm Macdonald, just says Norm. It looks like the Hope poster from Obama. It
Yeah.
just says Norm, and my daughter was like, "Who is that?" I'm like, "That's the best comic that's ever fucking lived, in my opinion."
He's so good.
But that's the funny thing, right? Eddie Murphy made this point years ago when they were trying to be like, "Why don't you do any movie? Why don't you do like stand up anymore?" He's like, "In 100 years, nobody's gonna remember who the fuck Eddie Murphy is. Like, I've already done it. You know what I mean?" And I get it.
Not
It's kind
even
of
a hundred.
depressing way to look at it, but like he's got a
Yeah.
point. It's like nobody will fucking know who the fuck I was. You know what I mean?
30 years from now.
Yeah, it's crazy to think of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I think it has a lot of movies stand the test of time where we'll watch them because that's what we watched when we were kids.
Yeah. So you think about it though, it's like it's a interesting
You
way.
think Santino's gonna watch Shawshank Redemption?
I mean, who knows? I mean,
I'll force him to,
yeah. I mean,
but not on his own. Maybe, I mean, if he was gonna be a director and went to film school, it's different. But
yeah.
the average person that has the attention span of a fucking ant, that
I agree with you.
of the youth, it's like movies are a dying breed in general. I
I,
mean, they're not, but they are.
dude, and that's the worst part about it, right? It's like it is like we were saying last week. It's like I just hope that people keep coming out with that like original ideas and
Yep.
get it made because it is like we talked about AI a little bit last week, and I was actually talking to a guy at the track meet I was at for my son tonight. And it's like it is scary. It's like we talk about music, right? And it's like let's say you're like I don't know, you're in like a fucking second album phase, right? Which for most bands is like the death phase, right? It's like you spent 10 years writing these songs, you get 10 hits. Oh, you got 4 hits and you got 6 songs. And you got like, hey, you need another album in a year, right? It's like, is that
It's
guy
not
gonna
easy.
be like, dude, I need to fucking just get on this AI. You know what I mean? And just get a hit.
Well, that's why it's tough for me. Like I talk to my producer all the time, and I'm like, hey, I wanna, work on some stuff, but I want to do things a little differently. Where it's like, it's tough. It's like, can I beat what I just did?
So that's what I'm saying. Isn't the funny like thing to be like it's like the temptation, like we're saying with this, like, the temptation of like the devil on your shoulder. It's like, all right, like, well, if I just like I need a new all right, like I need a word that rhymes with fucking seller for this, and
Yeah.
it's like all of a sudden it's like, is that removing like the actual like inspiration part of it? You know what I'm saying?
I'd say yes and no because it could pull up six different words, and then you still got to put the puzzle piece together. So yes
Yeah,
and no. I think in the aspect of like, okay, I used AI to write the intro song. Obviously, I'm not gonna go and record and sing a
sure.
fucking for a minute and spend fucking $800 to go do that. But I wrote the lyrics for it, and then it spits out what you need done. Would I do that for my music? Absolutely not, because
Yeah.
it's not gonna be me.
No, no, no.
You know?
No, yeah, and I mean like, like our intro song for the Pulling the Cork is a song I had on like my first album. I think it's the first song on the first album.
Yeah.
Only because like I'm like I need something that like I don't need to pay the rights for. You know what I mean? Like I was like I just need something that like I was like I need something that like I
God
could
forbid you have that on streaming, then you wouldn't be able to use it.
yeah, no shit. That's what I'm saying. So like which I do have it on streaming. I don't know how they're probably gonna come after me with my own music, which is
Yeah.
unbelievable.
Yeah.
Um cancel me now. But Yeah. So anyway, so next week, right?
Yeah.
I'm picking the movie.
Yep.
So I don't know if you've seen this movie yet.
Okay.
Maybe you have. It's kind of a B movie. I
It's
think it
okay.
came out in 2020, I think.
Okay.
Um, I like prison movies. Do you like prison movies?
I do like prison movies.
Have you ever seen Shot Caller?
Shock Collar or
Shot.
Shot
Shot. SHOT.
with the guy
From
from
Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones. I think I have watched it. But yeah, that sounds like a good movie to watch.
Okay. Great movie, right? I think it's like, I don't know the running time. I'm guessing it's a fucking, it moves. This movie moves, right? Um, I think it's pretty easy to stream, unlike the other, like this movie.
It's on Amazon Prime.
It's on Prime. And I think you can stream it for free if you have Max or something like that.
Yeah,
Um,
going forward, we're gonna be picking movies that you can watch that are readily available.
yeah, yeah. So this is a, like I said, it's
I
a,
didn't know that you couldn't stream Dogma. I
uh,
knew it was hard to I knew it was hard to buy a
buy.
Blu-ray.
That's
Uh,
why it costs so much.
yeah, I knew it was hard to buy the Blu-ray, but I didn't know you couldn't stream it.
Yeah. So this movie is an easy, like, it's a prison movie. It's not, we're not talking about, um, we're not talking about like fucking, Goodfellas here. You know what I mean? We're talking about
Yep.
a movie that I think most people that would listen to this, there were 27 people so far that have listened.
Hey, that's more than I thought.
That's more than I thought too. 27 people have listened. By the way, shout out one subscriber on YouTube besides me and you. That is my guy Matt Ricci, who's a
Thanks, Matt.
great guy, absolute all star of a gentleman.
Yep.
Shot Call is great though. Like it's a B movie, right?
Yep.
It's well done, well shot. I think the story is fucking like crazy. Like you're gonna like it. Like you're gonna love this movie.
Perfect.
I know you've seen it, but like you'll revisit it. I actually rewatched it because I heard it mentioned on a podcast I listen to, and I was like, oh, I kind of remember it, but like I want to rewatch it. And I rewatched it last year, and I was like, oh, this movie is fucking nails. Like it's fucking.
And I love that dude.
Oh, he's
Uh,
great.
he's
It
great.
always amazes me when like a guy who I think he's from Sweden or something like that. I think he's Norwegian or something like that.
Yeah, he has an accent.
Who can do a fucking just jump into an American accent? You know what I
Oh,
mean? Like
and crush it.
it's crazy. Like that they could do that. Like it's
Yep.
crazy.
Like
Yeah. So
Hugh Lowry. You know who Hugh Lowry is?
yeah.
The dude from House.
Yep.
Like super British.
Yeah. It's unbelievable. A lot of those guys, a lot of the British guys, specifically, like I heard this talked about, which is interesting. A lot of the black actors who are in African American actors, whatever you want, people of color actors, I guess, black actors that are in like the guy who was in Black Panther who passed away, like those guys are classically trained British actors.
Yeah.
Like they grew up in theater, right? And like there's like a little bit of like a weird thing about that because it's like they're like those specific actors of color were getting are getting a lot more roles than like say American black actors, but it's like they're classically trained actors. You know what I mean? So like they grew up in theater, whereas that's
And they're
interesting.
cheaper.
Yeah, and that's interesting about like Michael B. Jordan that he grew up in the States. Now he was in fucking The Wire, starting as Wallace, and then he goes on to do what he's done. He's unbelievable. I mean, Michael B. Jordan
Great actor.
doesn't hurt that he's yoked out of his fucking mind and like
Massive.
great looking fucking dude. You know what I mean?
I'll never look like that.
No. Nobody that's ever going to be on this podcast is ever going to look like that.
Never. I'll never look like
No,
that.
that's a fact.
A couple movies that are great that I think you should watch if you haven't. Prisoners with Hugh Jackman and Jake Gyllenhaal. If you've never seen that,
I've seen it. Yeah,
great
twist.
fucking phenomenal movie.
Yep.
And the other one I just had in my head and I completely forgot. I don't know why I just drew a blank on it. I feel like new movies are kind of tough. I think we touched on it just a little bit last week that it's hard for people to get to the theater, and I don't want to spoil stuff like Thunderbolts. I mean, I was listening to, I think something Al said that like, oh, you're gonna watch like a super obscure movie that nobody's fucking ever heard of. It's like, yeah, that's kind of the point. We
Yeah.
want people to hear about it, and these are movies you should go see if you haven't seen them. So it's hard to do new movies because A, you don't want to spoil them. B, a ton of people are already doing that. So it's like now we're going into different waters. It's like
Yeah,
why?
and seriously, I listen to a couple of movie podcasts. One is the Rewatchables, which is like a fucking way better done version, kind of this, in my opinion, just because it is what it is. They have a huge budget. It's The Ringer. It's a great podcast. You should listen to that. It's great. But the other one's The Big Picture, and they talk about like new movies. I
Yep.
stopped listening to it because like I can't help myself to be like, there's spoilers ahead. And I'm like, I was just listening. And now I'm
Yeah,
like,
I'm
now
gonna
I'm not
listen.
seeing this fucking movie. You know what I mean? Because I'm like, now I know what happened. So,
Yeah.
it is tough. Like we said, like I like to, there's nothing better than when somebody's like, have you seen this? And I'm like, I haven't. And then you like watch it and you're like, wow, this is fucking awesome. And we're
Yeah.
kind of in a day and age where there's, um, a lot of what we're taking in on streaming in general is more like like the series, right? So like right
Yep.
now I'm watching Mobland with Tom Hardy. I mean, I watch Tom Hardy eat fucking chips. The guy's fucking nails.
So good.
He's so good in this show. I mean, I would recommend it. I'm not going to get into it, but he's great in it. But like so just like I love when people give me recommendations for a movie. You know what I mean? I love when somebody's like, check this out. Like, I actually, it's funny because we talked about Elevation last week. Talk about it now, real quick. Elevation, which is like kind of like a B, very B, kind of alienish type, like a dystopian society type movie.
Yep.
Um, you don't really know what's going on. It's a fun watch. Like it's great. I actually had texted you guys one night and I was like, this is a great hangover movie because you and Al always talk about like this is a good hangover movie.
Yep.
And then you were like, have you seen Elevation like 2 months later? Because I bought it on Prime or I ordered it and then it became like free streaming.
Yeah.
Um, but like, movies that you can access easily as an adult that you can't get to the theater all the time because you either got little kids or you got fucking softball games every night and then the weekend's taken up with other shit. Like, it's good to be able to go and say, oh shit, like, dude, I haven't seen this, like shot calls like that. Like, where it's like, I haven't seen this movie. It's good. It's not, like I said, it's not Goodfellas, it's not Casino, it's
Yeah.
not Godfather. But like, I can get this for free on my TV, watch it with my wife at 8:30 and like be done by 10:30 and like I'm gonna have a good time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think that's what we're kind of trying to bring.
Yeah. And I love the idea of it. I sent you some movies to watch that you probably still haven't. Alita,
Yeah, I haven't seen that yet.
great. Robert Rodriguez. Why can't I think of the movie with Jack Nicholson's son? I told you to watch it. It was so fucking good. Um, Hold on, I'm sorry. I'm gonna look it up.
Yeah, go ahead. Um, so watch Shot Call this week if you're listening this week and you want to see what we're gonna do for the next week. I'd watch Shot Caller. I
Yeah,
think
and if you're listening and get this far, like send us some recommendations.
yeah,
Like
I
send us
think
some DMs and shit.
I'm not gonna give anything away with Shot Caller. We're gonna say this for people like us, which I would say are, generally men in their like, uh 30s plus type range. This movie will hit you. Suburban guys that age, this movie will hit you like pretty fucking hard. Like you're gonna be like,
Yeah,
holy shit, like this is
love
like
that.
kind of like fucking could see this, like what would I do in this situation type of thing. Um, but yeah, I mean, like I said, 70, 73, 75. That's what we gave it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, go watch it, check it out when it comes out on streaming, whenever that happens.
Oh, it's called Borderline.
Borderline. Okay.
Great
I gotta
movie.
watch that. I was thinking too, maybe we'll do an episode like in a few episodes where we do like we pick a genre. Like for example, like maybe we pick like documentaries, right? And
Yep.
we go five each, right? And just be like, this is kind of the basic outline, whatever. We don't even necessarily have to both seen them, but like to give some shit that like people might want to watch that they haven't seen. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Because like I say, I try to watch as much shit as I can.
Yep.
And obviously, like we said, there's limitations to what you can watch. This is not what we do for a job. There's 27 people listening. So like until that
Yeah.
becomes 2,700, it's going to be a lot harder to get to everything.
Yep.
But I
I
do love taking in films.
What I think would be a good thing for us to do eventually is if we were streaming like we are right now, let's say we streamed live on YouTube, you have the chat box where people can be interacting with us. I think if we were to do a movie watch along, like we said, I think that would be a cool feature to have where people in the chat can, oh, hey, have you seen this movie? If you like this, blah, 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 blah. You get a lot of ideas from other people.
Yep, I agree. I agree. I think that would be great. So yeah, I think it was a good second episode. What do you think?
Yeah, it's perfect.
Yeah. All right. So listen, what are the socials, by the way? You have the socials. So what are they?
Socials on Instagram is Showcase Cinema Podcast. I believe YouTube is the same thing. I think those are the only two socials we really have right now. So other than following myself and following you, I
Yep. So
believe
yeah,
I
BT
put
Brendan Ahern 33. I think I am on Instagram.
you can see under my name, you can probably see the Run Forest.
Yep.
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 So
That's your handle.
that's my handle. You can find me there. Yeah, hit us with a follow.
By the way, I gotta say this real quick too. Maggie's like, I'm like, oh, I'm doing that movie podcast again tonight with Justin. She's like, oh, what'd you guys pick? I'm like, we picked a movie that isn't streaming on anything at all. It's
I'll
fucking
never
great.
hear the end of that
It's
from Al.
great. It's great. I texted Al. I'm like, this movie's not streaming anywhere. But I think it was actually, you know what, to be honest with you, I think it's perfect. I think it's fucking great.
It's
And
right up
I
my
think a lot
alley.
of people that like a lot of people like out of the 27, probably 20 have seen Dogma. You know what I mean? I would think,
Yeah, yeah, I'm sure they have.
you know.
And it's like
Um,
people just Google Dogma and they know it or whatever, and it'll pop up and be like, oh, here's a full breakdown of the movie.
yeah, and then like, you know, like I said, then you can watch it on then you can watch it when it comes out on Kevin Smith's streaming service or whatever it's gonna have whatever it's gonna be on for the
Yep.
25th anniversary. I would say go back, watch Clerks, watch that. That's fucking awesome. Watch, I think it's just a very good like look into, you know, how somebody gets something going in their lives. Like that's an amazing fucking just look at like just doing something. You know what I mean? Just being
Yeah,
like, all
and
right, I'm just gonna fucking do it.
if you're a fan of filmmaking in general, like movies that can be done on a low, tiny budget, it's like you don't have to make a movie for 50 million.
No, you don't. And it's like we are. It's the funny thing about like talking about Sinners with the main or one of the main characters who's the blues guy. It's like those old recordings those blues guys were done on like a fucking phonograph, like in like a barn. You know what I mean? Like basically like on a
Yeah.
room. You know what I mean? So
Yep.
if the passion's there, if the fucking idea's there, it does come through. You know, whether or not it's perfectly executed. All right, so that's episode number 2 of Cinema Showcase. Follow us on socials. I think we have like, do we have 10 followers yet on?
We have 30.
We have 30 on Instagram. Look at that. Like we
Yeah,
have 30.
we're
By the way, the reel's gonna get better now because the quality of the video is already better.
I
Like,
know. I made like I don't know if you've seen what I sent you. I just try to
no,
make
yeah,
some.
and I was collaborating on the reel.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's like, dude, it's like you fake it till you make it. It's like
That's
every
all.
time, dude. I remember when I had my first podcast way before, like it's a cornhole podcast. Like everybody's like, "It's good." He's like, I can only hear it in one ear of my headphones. I'm like, I didn't turn on stereo. I'm like,
Yeah,
we get there. You know what I mean? We're
yeah,
working
just
on it,
listen to mono. Who cares?
yeah. It's not a big deal.
Listen, we got some upgrades. I got the cameras looking much better. I got some fucking microphones now. We're good.
It looks great. I think we're already heads and shoulders above where we were last week. So
We're in the right direction.
it's only going to get better. Before you know it, actors and directors will want to come on this and they're going to want to fucking
Yeah,
party
I'm
and
gonna
talk about
have
shit.
fucking Jeremy Renner sitting on my lap recording this.
He's gonna be doing a dip with you and fucking drinking a Dunkin' Donuts coffee. You know.
I love it.
All right.
If I showed you my cup, you'd be disgusted.
Disgusting. By the way, there is nothing worse in the world than when you grab somebody's dip cup by accident and then you drink out of it. Like I don't
Oh
know if you've
yeah,
ever
yeah.
done that. It's the fucking pits. Like it's the fucking
I
pits.
drank my own, not somebody else's, because that's just disgusting.
Yeah, that is the worst.
I would
Don't do
throw
that.
up everywhere. Don't do that. definitely follow the podcast. Follow Pull the Cork. Follow Bad Brain.
Yep.
Follow us. Follow everybody.
Yep.
It's a community that we're building.
Exactly. And then what we'll do is maybe in week 4 or 5, we'll have a guest on to do a movie with us.
Sure.
We got a litany of guys we can have on. You know what I mean? We obviously we got Al, we got Fitzy. I'm sure he would come on and talk about a movie.
Yep. Who knows? We
and
might get in a room together.
we will. Eventually that will happen. Eventually
Get
that
in
will
a
happen.
room. Get in a room together. Have the movie playing on that little TV in the background, and we commentate.
Yep, exactly. You gotta dream big like Kevin Smith. You know what I mean?
That's
It's the
it.
only way to go.
No one's gonna hand it to us.
All right. Eat your popcorn. Heavy
Yes.
cherry Coke. We'll
Yep.
see you next week.